Welcome everyone to the Minnesota Twins franchise here on MLB The Show 17. It is episode 6 and today we're again going to focus on the pitching side of things for this organization. That is the area where we have the most room to improve. So we're finishing up the month of May now. We have some games against teams we have not seen yet. And I wanted to make sure we had a new face in the rotation from AAA, as we are going to hopefully find some players we can build around as we attempt to rebuild this roster. And the draft is upcoming as well. So what we're going to do to begin this episode is send Alberto Mejia down to AAA. He has not fared very well in his rookie season, and it's time to get him some more playing time at the AAA level. So I had to decide, do I want to bring up Nick Tepesch or Fernando Romero? Tepesch is a 28-year-old pitcher. Romero is 22 with more potential. He throws hard, and he's got good break. Being only 22, I love for him to be a player that we can build a rotation around. So what we're going to do in this spot is bring up Fernando Romero. Nick Tepesch may be called up at some point, but right now, Fernando Romero gets the opportunity. He had 40 strikeouts in 48 innings at AAA, going 2-4, but with a 2.81 ERA and a whip of just 1.06. So Romero now finds a spot in our rotation, and we send Hector Santiago into the bullpen, so we at least have one lefty there, and he has not done a great job starting so far in his first season with the Twins. So we're going to get into Romero's Major League debut here against the Baltimore Orioles as we face Tyler Wilson with a 3-1 record and a pretty good ERA. The bats were a bit quiet last episode, so you'll want to get out to a strong start, and here we go on the first pitch. That's a Byron Buxton single into left field. Up next, we welcome back Jorge Polanco, who suffered an injury before a game in last episode, but now he's fully healed. Polanco, a 1-2 and a jam shot to left field, and this luckily falls in front of the left fielder as we get the first two aboard. Later in the inning, Miguel Sano, 0-2 count, and he hits one in the air to center, but not very deep as this also falls in. Two blooping singles for us, load the bases. Two down for Joe Mauer, who pops one up behind third base. Wilson gets the bases loaded, but finishes off the inning with no damage. And that takes us to the Major League debut of rookie pitcher Fernando Romero. 22 years old from the Dominican Republic, now getting his first chance on the road against the Baltimore Orioles. First batter he faces is Adam Jones, as he is a bit outside on that fastball. He has a mid-90s fastball, a circle change, and a slider. Just 3 pitches in his arsenal. 2-1. And the slider there a bit low to Jones, so he falls behind to his first batter and walks him. Pretty easy take there for Adam Jones. So Romero, maybe some first start jitters there, but this is a strong lineup. You got to bring your A game. Manny Machado later, a 1-2 count, and Machado gave the rookie a battle. He just could not get Machado out. 7 fouls in this at bat, and finally, base hit into right. Manny Machado, the second hit off of Romero. So they got some power in this lineup. Mark Trumbo up here, and he's crushing righties. 316, 9 homers, 30 ribbies. Here's a high fastball that Trumbo swings and misses at. And with the count full, a strikeout looking on the fastball down in the zone. The first strikeout for Romero. And here's another look at it. This one clocks in at 96 miles per hour. And Trumbo didn't like it. So 2 down for Romero, as that brings up Chris Davis. Another power bat. And he looks at a circle change low in the zone, and Romero gets back-to-back looking strikeouts to end his first inning. So into the second now, and we get the bats going again quickly as Jason Castro lifts a fly ball over the head of Mark Trumbo, and that is in for a double. That brought out the number 8 hitter, Eddie Rosario, who lines one into left, and that's another extra base hit. Castro comes around, he scores. The Twins strike first. 1-0 here in the second inning. Good to give the rookie here a lead at least. Could we tack on more? Here is Byron Buxton back up as he gets jammed a bit. Fly ball to Trumbo. And Rosario here wants to test. headed home. Relay throw in time, and that was not a good test on our part, so still a 1-0 game. But Romero, showing his stuff here, the fastball gets Smith to strikeouts. Then Wellington Castillo falls behind. On the 0-2, he looks at a circle change. The first 4 strikeouts all stared at by these Oriole bats. In the 3rd inning, this is Jorge Polanco as Tyler Wilson begins to fall behind and just walks him on 4 straight pitches. The leadoff hitter again reaches, and then Brian Dozier takes one the other way into right. 2 aboard again for Minnesota. That takes us to Miguel Sano. First pitch, driven to right center, and Miguel Sano sends one out. A 3-run shot, and that gives the Minnesota Twins a 4-0 lead. Sano crushing his 11th home run of the season at 396 feet. It's the breakout year we hope for. But it's not just his bat that's done well. In the field, I feel like he's been a pretty good third baseman. Sano doing it all here in the first few innings. Then with an 0-2 count, there is a line drive hit to Joe Mauer as Fernando Romero pitches 3 straight shutout innings. Looking for his 4th against Chris Davis, there's a slider right on the corner. He had great command in these early innings. And then a slider on the opposite corner. Well done, Romero. Another strikeout, this being his 5th. Just 1 hit through 4 innings for the Orioles. On to the 5th now, Brian Dozier at bats, and he takes one into left field. That pitch left right over the heart of the plate. An easy home run for Brian Dozier. This is what you want to see. Our power is our best asset right now. It gives us this nice lead, and that makes it a little bit easier on the rookie pitcher to settle in his major league debut. But man, look at this pitch by Tyler Wilson, just left right over the middle. Came in with pretty good numbers. We were set to make those numbers not so good. 5-0. And Miguel Sano wants to go back to right center. Deep and not gone. It still gets out on a hop there, so a ground rule double, followed by a Joe Mauer line drive into left center. And that brings in a run. Mauer has to hold at first base. And that brings us to Jason Castro. And he swings and misses at this splitter. So it's kept to a 6-0 lead for Minnesota as Romero in the 5th begins to lose some of his command, falling behind here and giving up a big double into the right center gap off the bat of Jonathan Schoop. This just the 2nd hit off of Romero, and after advancing to 3rd, a line drive deep to right will bring home Schoop as the Orioles finally tack on a run against the rookie. Could he keep it to 1? Here's Ryan Flaherty with 2 down, going high and hard to left, but Eddie Rosario tracks it down near the warning track. The Orioles began to get something going, so could Romero make it through 6 innings? Well, with a man on first, he gets the pitcher's best friend, a 6-4-3 double play. Just one more out to finish off the 6th. And he gets a big swing and miss here from Machado. And with the count 3-1, Tapper on to Sano. And there you go, 6 solid innings, a quality start, as Romero would leave the game after the 6th inning. Only 3 hits allowed, 1 run. Very strong debut. So, you thought the offense was done for Minnesota, did ya? We're not. Here's a Brian Dozier base hit to right, then Miguel Sano takes one into left field. 2 aboard again for the Twins. We would get going very quickly in these innings. Byung-Ho Park still swinging the bat pretty well as he loads the bases for the Twins. So can Joe Mauer do some damage? Line drive to center field. 1 run scores. We want 2. Jones throwing home. And Miguel Sano thrown out. Need to make some smarter base running decisions, but it's okay. We reloaded the bases, and Kepler grounds one up the middle. We won't make the same mistake twice. We tack on another run and take an 8-1 lead later into the game. Hector Santiago now coming out of the bullpen for us in the 7th inning because I wanted him to face these lefty bats. There's a strikeout against Chris Davis. And then Jonathan Scope looks at a cutter down and in, falls behind, and wild swing at the fastball. Good inning there for Hector Santiago. He stayed in, more lefties in the 8th as Flaherty grounds it onto Sano, and they go around the diamond to get the double play. Into the 9th inning, 8-1 it remains as Rosario slams a base hit back into center. When this offense gets going, they are really fun to watch. And Kepler, a deep line drive over the head of the left fielder. And that brings home another run for the Twins. So let's go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan Presley comes in, and he secures the win. The Orioles did get a solo home run off of him, but we had plenty of run support as Fernando Romero gets the win in his big league debut. Twins win 9-2 behind 20 hits and 9 runs. We had 12 hits alone off of their bullpen. 7 of those against the lefty Donnie Hart. Miguel Sano goes 4 for 5, a triple from the cycle. Dozier 3 for 5. Very fun game for us, although we did lose 2 of 3 to the Orioles. We're going to jump into this series now against the Tampa Bay Rays as we had a chance to take a game again in the 9th inning. And we will do just that with a game-winning single here from Eddie Rosario. Jason Castro, of all players, had tripled to begin the inning. So all Rosario had to do was bring him in. He does just that. Now he gets the walk-off celebration, and the Twins take another one. These walk-off wins never get old. Here is the base hit back up the middle by Eddie Rosario. But it wasn't the only great takeaway from this game. Hector Santiago was the player of the game, going 3 innings in relief, allowing no runs, getting 2 strikeouts. So he had that great outing for us against the Orioles, against their lefties, and then comes back with another good outing against the Rays. That's what I want to see, him start to settle in a bit more and maybe come back to the rotation when his season turns around. We actually swept the Tampa Bay Rays. We had great offense in this series as Byron Buxton homered in the 2nd game for us. And then in the next game, we go 13 hits, 8 more runs. We hit 4 home runs to secure this sweep and our first series win in a month. We then head into the 50th game of the season as we begin a series against the Houston Astros, another team we have not seen, and the second start for Fernando Romero. How would he follow up a 6-inning, 3-hit, 1-run performance in his debut? Well, another good lineup for him to face, and they wanted to go after him very quickly. First pitch swinging here, that's going to be an easy out. Next up, you have George Springer, and he'll tap one in between the pitcher's mound and short as Sano charges to make the play. Then you have the 3-hitter, Jose Altuve, as the slider gets him out in front. And then a wave at one outside the zone. A 1-2-3 start here for Romero. Much better start to this game as the pitch count was a little bit out of control in his first start. Then in inning number 2, Evan Gattis grounding one to second. An easy play here for Dozier. What I saw here early with Romero was that, yeah, he has a lot of velocity and break on his pitches, but he had phenomenal control. Here's Carlos Beltran hitting into the shift, and Romero gets him to ground out. And with 2 down, a tapper here for Chris Jimenez getting the start in this game. 6 up, 6 down with relative ease for Romero. And only 13 pitches. Amazing work by him. So time for our bats to get going. This is a Joe Mauer line drive into left. And that brings up Young-Ho Park, who also goes the other way. Back-to-back hits for Minnesota. Taking us to Chris Jimenez. He'll bat in the 6th spot in this game and goes right back up the middle. Loading the bases for Minnesota. That brought up Max Kepler. 1 down for the Twins as Kepler taps one softly, but it goes to a good spot. And Kepler beats out the throw and drives in a run. Twins on the board first, and here is Eddie Rosario's chance now with the bases loaded. Hitting much better on the road than here in Target Field. And here is a curveball in the dirt. Mike fires off to a rocky start as he misses here with the changeup. Rosario getting ahead. He stays patient as the fastball is way low, so a 3-1 count. And Rosario gets a hold of one deep to right center. It is a grand slam for Minnesota. Rosario having a phenomenal episode. This comes right after he gets the game-winning single in the bottom of the 9th inning. Now launching his, I believe, 5th or 6th home run of the season, knocking home 4 RBIs in the process to give Fernando Romero another very comfortable lead. In addition, that game earlier against the Orioles, Rosario was 3 for 5. Now all of a sudden his bat is turning around and we have great hitters all across our lineup, at least for the time being. Rosario was a player I thought about maybe sending down, wasn't too high on him, but the way he played throughout these games definitely has me wanting to see more. So Romero dominating this Astro lineup, now up 5-0. How about a strikeout here on a slider right on the outside corner against George Springer? Then with 2 down, Carlos Beltran falls behind here with the circle change. And with the 1-2, he stares at a fastball low in the zone. A lot of strikeouts looking so far for Fernando Romero. And it seems like any of his 3 pitches can get the job done. Let's head into the 5th inning. Same score as the Astros do get a solid line drive here into center field. This being just their 2nd hit of the ball game. Then Romero falls behind and this goes off his ankle and the Astros have something going. 2 aboard here against the young pitcher. Third baseman Alex Bregman then grounds onto short. Started here by Danny Santana. They go 6-4-3 and turn 2. Even when he gets in trouble, Romero has gotten himself out just fine. On to the 6th inning. Looking for another quality start. There's a good swing, but in front of it a bit. Then a ground ball back up the middle. Another single allowed here. Astros then have George Springer at bat. He falls behind and swings and misses at the slider. Another strikeout. Springer having a very tough time against the young pitcher, as Altuve then comes through with a base hit, slowly rolling to Rosario. 2 aboard again. Here's the cleanup hitter, Evan Gattis, as the circle change not quite close enough. Then the fastball, again not close enough, 3-0. And a green light for Gattis down the line. Extra bases as he does bring home a run. And actually has to stay at first here, but Altuve moves up to third base. That brings up Carlos Beltran, and this fastball's not getting called. Frustration settling in for Romero as he falls behind 3-0. And Beltran gets the green light, but hits it onto Mauer, and they go and turn a double play to end the inning. Another big double play for Fernando Romero, and that would be it for him in this game. Another 6-inning outing as Presley then comes in. And it had seemed, beginning in that 5th inning, the Astros started to figure out their hitting. They get 2 straight here off of Ryan Presley, including a double. This hit by Marwin Gonzalez. Presley then loads the bases with 1 down, gets a ground ball to Sano, who's going to try to go to second on this, and they get nothing. He could have maybe at least gotten the play at third base, but the Astros get a run, bases stay loaded, so let's bring in Michael Tonkin to try to clean this up. Here is Springer softly grounding onto Dozier, and it's slow enough to bring home a run, but he's retired. So a 5-3 ball game. And then Tonkin hits Jose Altuve. Minnesota on the verge of giving up this lead. They're loaded here for Evan Gattis as he falls behind 0-2. And Tonkin gets the big strikeout on the slider. An ugly inning for Minnesota, but we find a way out of it, only allowing 2 runs in the process. Tonkin gets fired up. Minnesota up 5-3. Heading on to the 9th inning now, trying to finish off the ball game. Tonkin stays in. That slider not called. He falls behind and gives up a hard hit single back to center. Tonkin then pulled for Matt Belisle. He also was having trouble finding the strike zone, a 3-0 count. But then finding the zone at least with the fastball. And another here with the slider, so a full count, and a big swing and miss on the curveball. What a pitch by the veteran reliever as we then turn things over to Hector Santiago. Not normally his role, but he comes in to face Nori Aoki, who's a left-handed batter. Circle change right on that inside corner. He gets ahead. And a tapper back to Santiago, on to second to win the game. No, Aoki beats it out. But 2 down now for the Astros and George Springer at bat. 0 for 4 on the day. Santiago remains in the game. Circle change on the outside corner. And a fastball up and in gets 2 strikes. The 2-2. Looked at for strike 3, and the Minnesota Twins win another one. Plenty of excitement in this episode. The Twins take this game 5-3, holding off the Astro bats. It's a good thing we had that Eddie Rosario grand slam, because after that our offense was pretty much shut down the rest of the way, as we only got 8 hits in this game. Astros get 11, only had 6 off of Romero, who again goes 6 innings, only allowing 1 run. 2 very strong outings for him in his first 2 starts. Now, we're going to go into one more game today. In Game 2, Ervin Santana was pitching a gem. A shutout into the 9th inning. Can he close it out? 106 pitches here as Carlos Correa goes down the line, and he reaches on a leadoff single. Up next is George Springer. Had 3 strikeouts in that last game, but now has a base hit into right. So with the first 2 aboard, you think maybe they take him out. No. Jose Altuve then pops up into foul territory. That's a big out. But that would be it for Ervin Santana, as the manager Paul Molitor pulls him. Not after the 2 hits, but after the pop-up. That brings in Ryan Presley, who strikes out. Evan Gattis on the slider. One more. Brian McCann at bat. Swings and misses at the curveball, and that is ball game. The Twins win their 5th game in a row, which gives us a guaranteed 2 straight series victories. A level of success we have not had in quite some time this season, so I want to savor it here. Ervin Santana only allows 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, nice shutout victory. And we're going to end it here because the 1st of June is the first year MLB draft. So we have a big episode upcoming, as we have the first overall selection in the draft. So any player we want, we can select. It's a big chance for us to get some talent for our team, and we're going to focus on that in the next episode. We're not going to wait too long for it, though. Later this week, that episode will be up. And I have gone on a test franchise to just see when the draft is, which is the 1st, and then the draft itself seems to be 7 rounds. So a chance for us to add 7 more players. I'm not sure when like the Rule 5 draft or anything is, so this will be the main chance for us to add players. But today was a big episode. Fernando Romero gets called up, delivers 2 great outings, 6 innings each, 1.5 ERA now. I'm very happy with his play. He pitched 48 innings at AAA, now 12 in the majors. He's only allowed 1 home run all season. He throws hard, he has break, doesn't give up home runs. What more could we ask for? So we'll shift our attention now to the draft upcoming, and there are some players here that I definitely have my eyes on, like Julio Cordoba, a left fielder who may not make it to the majors for a while, but is a very good contact hitter with speed. Right now, my favorite player for the number 1 overall selection would be Maxwell Fowler, who could be ready for the majors very early in his career, and he's only 18 years old. He doesn't appear to be an overpowering pitcher that'll get a ton of strikeouts, however. Then there's Benny Yamamoto, who does have a little bit more velocity and tendency to get strikeouts. There is also George Saylor, a pitcher that relies a lot on break with his 12-6 curveball and his slider. One of my favorites in this class is Adrian Gordana, who may not be ready for a while, and he's already 22, but he's got elite speed with some power. So maybe he is a mid to late round option for us. I'll have to see how this draft goes. Never done one of these MLB drafts before, but I think I'm ready. We have some good targets to go for in this draft, so I'm excited for it. Let me know who you think should be the number 1 overall pick, and also let me know what did you think of this episode. Fernando Romero's debut was phenomenal. Plenty of offense. This was a fun one. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, leave your feedback below, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.